day. Thank you for your interest in tax-deferred exchanges. This is one of a series of videos that we are producing to help and assist our clients. Certainly this is not intended in any fashion to be an advertising piece. So you have to sit back and anticipate that each one of these videos is going to be pretty detailed. This particular video is on what we call personal property tax-deferred exchanges. It has one intent, and that intent is to tell you, in probably a pretty detailed fashion, that we can no longer do personal property tax-deferred exchanges. Why am I even doing this video? Well, I'm doing so because for about the last 35 years, we have been doing personal property tax-deferred exchanges. They've been an integral part of our literature, they've been an integral part of our advertising, and they were a big part of our overall practice. Unfortunately, the folks back in Washington, D.C. in our Congress on December 17th of 2017 changed the rules on us. On that date, personal property tax-deferred exchanges are no longer approved. So today, we still have real estate tax-deferred exchanges, but we need to spend a little bit of time in this video going over, number one, understanding that we can't do personal property tax-deferred exchanges again, but it also affects how we do a very typical real estate tax-deferred exchange. Let me explain. In most apartment houses, apartment complexes, larger commercial buildings, there's actually a combination of real estate, mostly real estate, and a combination of personal property items. Anticipate, let's say, a 100-unit apartment complex is going to have 100 washers, 100 dryers, 100 microwaves, 100 refrigerators, 100 ranges. All of these items are deemed to be personal property. They're not necessarily part of the real estate. You'll notice I didn't mention dishwashers because in most instances the dishwashers are installed under the counter, and under local law and national law throughout the country, dishwashers are deemed to be part of the real estate because they're permanently attached and they become what's called a fixture. So we're not too concerned about dishwashers here, but we are concerned about the value that's allocated to these items of personal property, because prior to that December 17th, 2017 law change, we could have a personal property exchange along with real estate and have it deemed to be real estate up to 15% of the value, because that was the law at that time. I have to inform you today that generally we take a different strategy. So if you have a type of tax-deferred exchange that includes substantial personal property, you may want to talk to us and talk to your tax preparer and allocate value to those items of personal property commensurate with what we call their book value, which is their value minus depreciation, and encourage the buyer to buy the personal property from you at your overall adjusted basis cost, which would produce absolutely no tax consequences for you in the case of the sale of the personal property. To the extent that you do not allocate value to the personal property and include it in the overall transaction, that will be appropriate from a contractual standpoint. Depending on the state that you're doing the transaction, the state may want some tax money. Of course, I'm speaking a little bit here about Washington State. They would like to have a excise or use tax upon the sale of personal property. If you're doing a transaction outside the state of Washington, we would have to evaluate your transaction based upon state tax law in the state to which you're doing your overall deal. So in most instances, we just want you to be aware, number one, personal property transactions no longer exist. Number two, if you have personal property involved in your overall exchange that is substantial. What I mean by that, if you're selling a single family rental property, generally speaking, the personal property is incidental and is not given any value, and it's minimal from the standpoint of having any tax consequences. In most instances, we're talking about probably apartment complexes above 24, 25 units or so, where this overall analysis would be appropriate, and that would provide you the vehicle to allocate value that produces no tax consequences, knowing full well that you are going to have to separate out that from the real estate tax-deferred exchanges. Of course, as always, you'll have some questions. The goal of these videos is to help and assist you with your overall detailed questions, but your fact pattern may be a little bit different than the fact pattern we have in this video. Feel free to give our office a call. We are at 253-284-3865 is one of our qualified intermediaries' direct phone numbers. We do have an 800 number, 1-800-236-4948. We'll get you from anywhere in the country to our office in Tacoma, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have on personal property tax deferred exchanges. Thank you very kindly.